Hello, it's Molly Mae, the maker behind Ponder and Ply. This is podcast number 3 for me, and I'm here today to talk about my test knits. I've got them all in my hands. Well, the test knits I've done over the last couple of months. I've actually done quite a few this year. I'm likely to do another video to catch you up on the ones I did earlier in the year, but today I'm going to be focusing on these 4 plus the 2 I'm working on at the moment. It's safe to say I have a bit of a test knit obsession. I do way too many of them and end up not having time for anything else. You'll have to bear with me this morning. It's really stupidly early here and I'm just filming before I start work. I'm going to pop these down for a second. I am working from home today because I have someone coming around to photograph our flat. We are renting and the landlord wants to sell, and I have to deal with the faff over the next 8 months of our contract, of people coming and seeing our property. I hate renting. London sucks. The renting market sucks. I'm not going to vent too much about that right now. So I'll just quickly talk about what I'm wearing. So right here, this jumper I made quite a long time ago now. Please don't look too closely. There are a few mistakes. This is one of my first sort of adventurous jumpers. A lot of it went well, but some of it didn't really go to plan, and the band you do separately and then you'll sort of graft the ends together, and that did not go down very well. It actually sat in the corner for like a year before I picked it up again and finished it, but it's really comfy and I really like this jumper. So the pattern is Celtic Hill by Kessa Tay Anlin. I guess Celtic because you've got the Celtic knot cables across here. I feel like I knitted it in like one of those Debbie Bliss cashmerino style yarns, but I'm not entirely sure. It was a really long time ago now. But it's a kind of blush pink. I'm not sure whether you can see that in the video, but I really like the colour because it's my kind of neutral. I don't really wear too many neutrals. I like sort of tinged pink or tinged another colour. I find they suit my complexion better. I'm actually likely to film 2 podcasts this week, and then upload one this week and one the following week, so the next one may be a little bit filmed quite a lot ahead of time. This is because on Monday I am off to Germany. It's the boy's nephew's first day of school. That's a really big deal in Germany. They do some kind of celebration and he personally asked me to attend, so I will be heading along to that. And then I fly back midnight on Wednesday, and then very early the next morning I start my big bike ride. For those of you that don't know or don't follow me on Instagram, haven't seen my stories, I am doing a 240-mile cycle from London to Belgium. This is all with the aim to raise some money for Alzheimer's. Alzheimer's is a cause really close to my heart. I won't go into too many details now, but it's affected my family quite a lot. It's still affecting my family quite a lot, and yeah, so I'm trying to raise money for it. What I will do is, if there's no pressure, but if you are interested in sponsoring me, I will pop a link down below. Literally £1, anything, $1, I don't know where you are in the world, anything would really help. Absolutely 100% of all money raised goes to the Alzheimer's research. Okay, I think it's time for me to crack on and talk about something a little bit less serious. So the first test knit I want to talk to you about is the Ruffalo by ParknKnit. This one I saw online, in Park had it in like a yellowy green, and it was really fitted and looked amazing over a pair of jeans, and I just really wanted to make it. I thought about it in stripes straight away. So it's a sort of like tank at the top, and then you've got the ruffle at the bottom. That's my favourite little bit. I'm just going to pop it on for you. So for this test knit I actually used an acrylic yarn. I actually have just down here the next colours I plan to make it in. Actually I don't think that colour's showing up so nicely on camera. I think it's called, is it Masala? It's one of those like rich reddy kind of reddy corally colours. So I want to make another striped one. I want to make it, but make it slightly different. So I want this colour to be maybe for 4 rows and then the white for 2 rows. You've got the thinner lines of white throughout the top. But before I talk about the next one that I want to make, I just have a little chat about this. So yeah, this is just sort of a cheap as chips acrylic yarn. I think it's a German yarn, but it's like a baby yarn, but they have loads of different colours. So what I really like about this top is how you can style it. So you can dress it up and dress it down really easily. As I said, Park advertised hers on her Instagram with a pair of jeans, and it looks so cute with a pair of jeans. It makes it, jeans look really casual, and it makes a casual outfit look a bit dressier. But then what I actually really have enjoyed wearing it with recently is with a pencil skirt. So when I go into work, just so I can look a little bit smarter, I like wearing a little pencil skirt and then this over the top. It's really flattering, and I just think it's super cute. I think you could wear it lots of different ways. I actually thought, I mean, we don't really have the weather for it here. It's me looking out the window. It's quite grey, even though, well, we're at the beginning of September now, but it's still, we haven't had the best summer. But with a pair of jean shorts or a little skirt and Converse, I think there are so many ways you can style this, and you can make it look really different depending on what yarn you choose. A lot of the other knitters did a solid colour, which I think looks really, really nice. I just felt like doing something a little bit different, so I went with the stripes, and now I'm addicted and want another striped one. You may have noticed, although I took the pictures so that you couldn't really see when I posted on Instagram, this is the tiniest bit big for me. Can't really see on here, but it's quite wide under the arms. I've got quite a narrow back and a fuller bust, so it means that things don't always fit perfectly anyway, and I usually have to do some alterations. I didn't do any alterations on this one because I wanted to see how it fits straight off the bat. But Park has since made huge changes to the pattern. So based on the feedback, I think the ease was changed, and so the whole fit is different. So had there been no changes, I would recommend sizing down. As she has made changes based on this feedback, then I would go for your true size, because a lot of work has gone into making it the perfect fit. I think a few changes were made for the underarms to make sure that it fitted properly, but when I make it again, because of these changes, I will make the same size, or maybe one size smaller. I'm going to read the schematics and find out. But yeah, Park is a really talented pattern designer. Her patterns are really clear and easy to follow, not too long, not too wordy. I actually think this pattern is suitable for an advanced beginner. There is like decreasing and increasing. Obviously you have to be able to cast on, but the ruffle that looks quite complicated is really simple. It's just sort of a matter of casting on a higher number and then decreasing rapidly. So yeah, I definitely think an advanced beginner could make this top if they took their time. I don't believe this pattern has been released yet, but I think it's going to be released really soon, as in this month. So keep an eye out on Park's grid for when it's coming to you. As I said already, I am planning on making another one. I have a really long list of things that I'm going to make, so this may be quite a while down the line, but that's the colours for my next one. This one I actually made in a few days. I had a bit of a hangover one weekend, and I just spent the weekend indoors knitting away, and I think it was 2 full days of knitting, and I've got this done. So I definitely think, well, that's for a size medium. I made a size medium, so you can probably knit this one up quite quickly. So the next pattern I want to talk about is my Diaphanous Raglan by Jessie May. This one I again finished maybe a month or so ago. I decided to do the option with the ruffle sleeves. So instead of the flutter sleeves, which is 1 row of increases, this is a ruffle sleeve, which is 2 rows of increases to make it extra full and all floaty and around the arms. I also did, so there's an option to do waist shaping, and I decided not to because this ended up being quite fitted on me, so I didn't do any waist shaping for the body, but just before I got to the waistband on the last row of the body, I decreased the same amount of stitches that I would have done had I done all of the waist. So for example, say there were 20 waist decreases, that's not an accurate number, it's just an example. I then decreased all 20 in that last row because I wanted the band to be very fitted, but I didn't want the body to sort of slope in. It looks really, really cute. I've seen it in lots of the test knitters. A lot of them opted to do waist shaping. Had I done a larger size, I probably would have done waist shaping too, or maybe not. I just quite liked when Jessie first posted the picture of her version, I just loved how floaty and airy it looked, and I liked that the body wasn't super fitted. I think I said on my last video that I've got a lot of things that are cropped and fitted, and I would like to have some things that are a bit looser. So yes, let me pop this on for you. So for the body, you hold fingering and mohair together. It's super fluffy. This yarn was a dream to work with. So I found a company called Whoopee Yarns on Etsy. Oh, sorry, I've got mohair tickling my nose. That's where I got my mohair from. I believe the colour was terracotta. I don't think they dye it themselves. They're sort of they gather stock and sell it on. It's excellent quality, really well priced. It came from somewhere in Europe. It came really quickly despite them suggesting that it might take longer. And then the fingering weight yarn that I used was from Dyer and Byer, which is a UK dyer, again, that I found on Etsy. I cannot remember for the life of me what the name of the colour was. I feel like it was cinnamon or something like that. Sorry. If you check out her site though, I'm sure you'll be able to find it. Or I'm not sure what I did with the tag, so I'm not sure that I'll ever be able to tell you. However, it was beautiful. The colour is so rich. When you hold mohair with fingering together, it actually dulls down the colour underneath. Dulls down's the wrong word because it sounds like that's a bad thing. It looks amazing, but it does tone down any bright colour. So it was quite a bright orangey brown, and now it looks a bit more brown orange, browny orange. Yeah, browny orange. Yes. Anyway, I would recommend both very highly. They're both really great. Really easy to work with. I managed to make the body with one skein of yarn, and the mohair, I can't remember off the top of my head how much I used, but it wasn't divided up like that. I bought a big ball, which was a lot of yarn. I think that's, I don't remember, but it was a lot of yarn. I actually have quite a bit left over, so that will go into another project at some point. So what I like about this is when I first tried it on, I fell in love with it, and I put it on with like a loose satiny skirt. I really like textures when I'm dressing, so I had it was really nice to have like the silky and then the fluffy, and I like that this has two different textures too. And I thought, oh, that's a really cute way of wearing it. I can wear it with lots of loose skirts. And then one morning I tried it on over a little pink blouse. So I had a blouse underneath, and the collar was sort of sticking out of the top. It was a short sleeve blouse, so you couldn't really see much on the shoulders, which is what I wanted. I didn't really want long sleeves with the short sleeves. It's not really my style. But I absolutely loved the blouse with it. It looked really cute with the collar sort of poking out. And I actually think this knit's going to be quite versatile. I'll keep you updated. Maybe I'll post some pictures on my grid as and when I wear it, so you can see the different ways that I style it. I haven't worn it that much yet. Although the weather hasn't been great here, it hasn't been really cold enough to wear this. It's actually really warm. I sized down on the needles, and I used sort of the mohair and the fingering together, and it's quite relatively dense, which is really nice for the winter, but it's a bit warm for now. The fit. So the fit is exactly as intended. I've had so many compliments. I think this might be one of my most liked pictures to date. Everyone seems to really like this. I love it. However, next time I make one, I will be making one in maybe 1 or 2 sizes bigger. So again, I made a size medium, as I always do. However, maybe I should have gone for a large straight away based on ease. It fits so beautifully, and it's such a well-written pattern. But as I said earlier, I really like the way that Jessie had hers on, and it just looked so floaty and airy, and it fit her so beautifully. So I think when I make my next one, I'll either make a large or maybe even an extra large, and then just make the waistband smaller. The next one I'm going to make will be long sleeves. I was thinking some kind of like midnight blue and doing it like sort of really elegant, sort of like a navy, maybe. Well, we'll find out. That's going to be a bit further down the line. I think it'd be a really beautiful sort of dressy Christmas jumper in like a midnight blue. Maybe find something with a little bit of a sparkle in it. Yeah, I think that could be really cute. So this pattern it's not super complicated, but I think it does require some experience. So I would recommend this pattern for intermediate knitters. That being said, Jessie May is very descriptive in her patterns, and so if you were to really take your time and follow, so I think she has like an IGTV channel where she shows a lot of the methods in. If you really took your time, it would probably be a really good learning project if you were more on the beginner end of the spectrum, but I would definitely not think, it's not a quick knit for a beginner, let's put it that way. But again, it's super easy to follow, so it's sort of up to you. As a, what's the word that I'm looking for? What is the word that I am looking for? As a point of reference, it's not the word I was looking for, but that's what I'm going to go with. As a point of reference, I would mark this as an intermediate pattern. So this pattern has already been released. If you didn't know that, where have you been? There seems to be a lot of them popping up. It's a really, like I said, a really beautiful pattern. It's no surprise it's been super popular. So go snap up your copy now. I definitely recommend it, and keep an eye on my grid because there should be another one coming soon-ish. So this one I'm quite excited about showing you. This is Darmody by my beautiful friend and amazing designer, TheMarvelousMrsMaker. So Brit from TheMarvelousMrsMaker designed this pattern, and as soon as I saw it, I knew I had to make it. It's so beautiful, it's so unique, so sort of chic and elegant. I'm not sure how well you can see on the camera, so it's sort of like almost kimono style. It's stocking out on the body and the edges are lined with this sort of lace pattern with bobbles. I wonder whether you can see it clearly like this. I'm going to pop it on for you and then I'll talk a bit more about it. I've still got a bit of mohair tickling my nose from my Diaphanous Raglan. Now I'm starting to understand why people sip cups of tea while they do this. So I always laughed and thought it was a bit like, I'm sipping my tea. That sounds really rude. I don't mean to be rude to other vloggers, and there's some amazing vloggers that sip on their tea, but I always thought it was kind of like knitting and tea. It was kind of like, I don't know, a bit of a, I should be doing this, but now I understand it's because your voice starts going really, really quickly. Next time I may have a cup of tea, or maybe I'll make myself a cup of tea in a second. I might make myself a cup of tea in a second, right? So I want to talk about the Darmody top that I am wearing. I'm tempted to say that this may be my favourite thing that I've ever made. I've made a lot of things, a lot of things, and it's just beautiful. It's craftsmanship at its best. Well, I don't mean my craftsmanship, although I did make this very well with no mistakes, and I'm very proud of myself for that. I mean the design itself. Brit is an absolute bloody knitting wizard. It's fantastic. So I knit this up. So it's actually made in lace weight, which, don't let that put you off. I hadn't done very much of lace weight before, but actually it was super easy. So the body itself, the stockinette, is knit just with lace held single on its own, and then the lace borders, the lace pattern borders are fingering held double. No, it's not. It's lace held double. So I opted to do mine all in the same colour. So this is West Yorkshire Spinners exquisite lace. There's some silk content in there which makes it super drapey, and it's also really soft, excellent yarn. I really recommend it. I definitely like to use some of their yarn again. The colourway I chose was Truffle. I was actually choosing between this and like a creamy colour, and I think I may go back and make one in a creamy colour as well. There's an option to either do the lace borders, like you can hold the one lace weight double with another different colour lace weight and then give it like a mould effect, or you can do it the same colour and then these little bobbles can be done with different colours. Some of the girls doing the test knit had some really beautiful ones where they did it mould and with a different colour on the little bobbles, and it just looked so pretty. It made me very jealous because I finished mine quite quickly. So this was made quite a while ago now, and I actually got tonsillitis and I was bedbound for a week, so I pretty much spent the whole time knitting this, so I was finished really, really quickly, which is why I've been wearing it for quite a while. But since then, quite recently, lots of people have finished and they're just absolutely beautiful. Two that I would recommend 100% that you go and check them out, and I'm maybe slightly biased because I love these ladies so much, but I definitely recommend you go and see Chelsea's at Rose and Rose, as in rows of stitches, and then rose as in the flower, and then also Casey's at the Skeeniac. But they're both absolutely wonderful people and they've made some really beautiful Darmodies, so I think you should go check them out too. Okay, so how do I style it? The reason I love this so much is because it is so versatile. So in my Instagram pictures you may have seen, I wore it over like a leopard print dress. It was a really good statement piece. I actually went to a wedding not that long ago and I wore a beautiful dress. It was like hot pink, really fitted. I absolutely loved it, but the wedding was in Germany and I was not told by my German boyfriend that my dress was a bit out there for German weddings. Now in the UK, what I wore would have been entirely acceptable and lovely, and over there it was a little bit out there. It wasn't in a church or anything, but I just felt a little bit out compared to everyone else. Everyone else was dressed quite conservatively. I don't usually mind too much. I don't mind, like, I just like wearing what I like, but I also didn't want to make anyone else feel funny about it. I don't know, I just felt really weird about it. But I had this with me, so I popped this over the top and it was like the perfect little cover up that sort of like covered my shoulders and my cleavage, and it really did the job, so it was really good for that. But then also where I kind of worn it the most is either with a sort of like little fitted black dress for work, or if I put on like a black vest, tuck it into a pair of jeans and then put this over the top. Again, like the Ruffalo top, it just really dresses up an otherwise very casual outfit. So this is an absolute winner. You can wear it in so many ways. Fit is absolutely perfect. I couldn't have made it more perfect. I wouldn't make any changes. The waistband there's two options for it, so you can either have it fitted or loose. I opted for fitted. Again, I made a medium. I would say the assumption is I always make a medium, so think that I made a medium unless I say otherwise. So I made a medium in this. Yeah, it fits perfectly. It's really easy to follow. Brit's really great at writing clear instructions, and it's just a really beautiful, well-rounded pattern. This pattern is actually being released this week on Thursday. This will probably be already gone by the time I post this, so I need time to edit it. It is now Tuesday, so I think it's being published on the 5th of September. I'm likely to upload this at the weekend, so it's likely already out, in which case go and get your copy. This is fantastic and you will not regret it. So the last one I want to talk about is the Venice Wrap tank by GorillaKnits. This is an equally gorgeous pattern and I love it, so I'm just going to pop it on for you. Give me 1 second. I appreciate that you actually can't see very much of it on the camera. What I might do is afterwards, when I edit it, I might pop in a few pictures of each of the knits so that you can see them on me. Well, no, I'm not embarrassed. This happens all the time. I have not sewn in the ends on this yet. As I will talk about in a second, I have had so many test knits. I've got another 2 going on at the moment. I just simply haven't had time. One thing that proved quite popular on Instagram is that I sort of added gold randomly in patches to this vest. I really wanted to achieve a kind of gold leaf kind of look. When I first started doing it, it didn't look like it was going to work, and I was like, oh, it's going to be horrible to try and pull out all of this. So what I did is I knit the top as per the instructions, and it randomly every now and again I would just cut strips of gold thread and hold it double with the fingering yarn and then sort of do it in different patches. I've actually had a few requests to do some tutorials, a tutorial on this, so one will be on my channel eventually when I get a second, on how to do it. It's really simple, but it's much easier to show you rather than try and explain it. So the yarn is, the purple yarn is from Cascade, so it's a Cascade Heritage Solids, fingering weight. Super nice yarn, really good stitch definition, quite comfortable, and it's quite silky? Yeah, I guess it's quite silky. And then the gold is from a French company that I cannot pronounce the name of. Berger de France. I'll link. No, actually, if you head to my Ravelry page for the project, I've actually put the yarn that I've used on there, so you can see. But this is just a quick look. Some gold thread, so that's what I used with the yarn. In terms of styling this knit, as I have said, I have not sewn in the ends yet, so I actually haven't worn it out. In my pictures, how did I do it in my pictures? I think I just wore it on its own with leggings or something. So I think this is a really good one that I'll probably wear a hell of a lot. I love dressing up, but quite often I have busy weekends and I wear sort of like stylish active wear. Stylish, that's a really horrible word. That sounds like a grandma, like it's so cool and stylish. Trendy, it's almost as bad as trendy. Anyway, with a pair of like high-waisted leggings, or actually I don't have any high-waisted jeans, but that kind of, it's quite cropped, and although there's nothing wrong with it, I don't really like having my belly fully out. I feel much more comfortable with something when it's something that's cropped and wear it high-waisted and you can just sort of see that little middle section. I'm quite heavily tattooed around my middle section and quite like my little tattoos poking out. But anyway, so that's one way of wearing it. But actually what sold it to me when I saw it on Jane's page, Jane from GorillaKnits, is she put it on over a white t-shirt and it looked really pretty. So I think that's one way I'm definitely going to be wearing it. That way I can also wear it to work. It's quite a low wrap, so I wouldn't wear it on its own to work. And then I've also seen a lot of the testers put it on over dresses, and it looks so pretty. And I'm going through my wardrobe in my head and I can't think of any dresses of mine that would look that nice over, which means I need to get a new dress so that I can wear it over the top. But it looks like it's a really good layering piece. I'm going to experiment with it a bit, and again I will post some on my stories over the next few months that you can see how I style it. So in terms of fit, I would say this is absolute perfection. As I was making it, I thought that looks far too small, it's never going to fit me, but actually it literally fits like a glove. The back is sort of racer style back, and it just again, I thought it wasn't going to look that great. So as I mentioned in my first video, I do a lot of weightlifting and it's hard. You'd understand more in person, but I have quite broad shoulders and I have quite wide lats from the lifting that I do, and so sometimes that kind of style can make me look really broad. Again, nothing wrong with looking broad, but I personally don't like that look on with some of those shapes. So I was a little bit worried, but it fits so nicely. It's so flattering and it looks so good on so many different sizes. So the testers of all body shapes, all sizes, and all of them looked equally beautiful in it. So I think it's a really good test knit for all body types. One feature I really like is that the ties that you use actually wrap around all the way around your body and then back around. So this was an absolute pain in the bum at the end to actually finish it in time, because they take a really long time to make because they're so long. I think they were like 30 something inches each. However, they are my favourite part of the whole top. It just looks so cute where the top finishes and then you can see the wraparound of the ties slightly lower down. I just think it's a really cute feature. I also use the gold just on the ends, so it looks like they're a little bit dipped, like a dipped in gold kind of thing, which I'm super happy with how that came out. So I think this pattern is suitable for the advanced beginner. There's not a huge amount of complex technique to it. You need to be able to decrease. Apart from that, it's just basics. So I think if you were to take your time and you're a brave beginner and advanced beginner, then I think you could definitely give this one a go. Actually, I don't think I said about Brit's pattern. So the Darmody top that I was wearing before, I would recommend that for an intermediate knitter. It may actually be a really good project as your first introduction to lace. as in not lace weight, first introduction to lace weight yarn, but as in the lace panels, because they're quite simple and it doesn't take up the whole project because it's just on the borders. It's a good way of sort of trialing it without being overwhelmed by millions of stitches in lace. So yeah, I would recommend that one for intermediate knitters. Anyway, back to the Venice Wrap tank. This is already out. You need to go get your copy because it's so beautiful and Jane's really talented. The pattern itself is super easy to follow. What I really like is that Jane has separated every single size, so you can just print a couple of pages and you don't have to worry about the stitches and instructions for other sizes. It's only your size on that page, so it's really easy not to get confused. She's also numbered it, so it's almost like a set of proper instructions, like to do some task, which makes it really easy to use. Guys, I'm really sorry. I woke up and I was going to sort my hair out and I was so tired that I didn't, and I just realised what an absolute mess it looks, especially with me pulling on my knits and taking it off. I started here sort of making an effort sorting myself, and as the podcast go on you'll see my true self. I'm always like messy hair on top of my head. I do a lot of sport, I cycle a lot, so I am mostly like sweaty hair on top of your head. Actually, people at work laugh at me because they can tell when I've cycled into work or not based on whether my hair is up or down, how much makeup I'm wearing, and generally I look like a sweaty mess when I've cycled into work. So, and now more often than not I cycle into work because I've got 240 miles to cycle in 3 days and I have not done enough training. So yes, that's gonna be fun. Anyway, I went off on an absolute tangent. I've already planned the next one that I want to make. So I want to do some colour blocking on the next one. You knit this in 3 panels. You do the one front, other front, and then the back panel. I want to do one side in black, one side in white, and then do the black, half white, and sort of like merging into each other. I haven't really thought about the logistics of that yet. Again, it's going to be a bit further down the line. This took me a little while to knit up. It's a fair amount of stitches, and I used quite small needles, so it took a little while to grow. But yes, that's what I would really like to make, sort of a little bit quirkier version like that. Okay, I think it's time for a cup of tea. Bear with me. Well, I'll be back in a second because I'll edit this out, but I'm going to get a cup of tea. So that actually turned into a much longer coffee break. My camera died when I came back in the room, but I have my coffee and some biscuits because what is a hot drink without biscuits? Are you a dunker? I am a dunker. Okay. Now I know why people drink tea but they don't eat while they're recording podcasts. So it's kind of rude to talk with your mouth full. Okay, right. So the last thing that I quickly want to talk to you about, I've actually changed back into my jumper because it's nice and comfy, is the 2 test knits I'm currently working on. They did get a little bit of a feature in the last one, but I'll just show you. I've made a bit of progress on the one I'm doing for Jessie May, the framework bralette. Ta-da! So this is the front. I have done 3 out of the 4 cups. The straps must be looking a little bit short to everyone. I am playing a serious game of yarn chicken. I was scared I was going to lose, so what I have done is I want to do all of the cups first, then see how much yarn I have left. If I have enough yarn left, I will do the straps in the same colour. If I don't, I might do either like a bright pink or like a green, just do something really contrasting, because there is no point, sorry, itchy eye. There is no point buying loads more yarn just for the straps. I'm really happy with how this come along. I tried it on last night. In Jessie's pattern, she actually gets you to measure from under your bust to the middle of your bust, sort of like vertically, to work out the depth of your bust, and then you base the body measurements on that, which is really great because you can be a size medium and have 2 completely different bust sizes. So I thought that was a really nice feature of the pattern. I have quite a deep bust, and so I was a bit worried as I was knitting it along that the body looked really long, so I ended up doing a little bit less than what Jessie suggests for my depth bust, and now I've tried it on, I see why she suggests it, but it just means it's cut a little bit lower on me, which I actually quite like anyway. It's still quite It's still a substantial size, so I don't feel like I'm going to fall out of it or anything. But do not doubt, trust the process, because had I done exactly as she said, it would fit as she suggested. Yeah, because I think the thing is, when you wear it, so right now it looks pretty long, but when you wear it, because it stretches like this, you lose some of the height. So when you make it long enough to accommodate that stretching outwards. Yes. But anyway, it's coming along really nicely. I should have pictures of it up soon. I'm really excited about this one. It's just a really beautiful, well thought out pattern. I really like the little details and the thought that goes into Jessie's pattern, but I think Jessie's patterns generally, but this one specifically, with the sort of the seam and the way that the sort of the stockinette sections line up, and the way that the straps are framed, and the centre decrease so that your seam runs straight, and the ribbon, everything is well thought through in my opinion. I just like all the little details with this one. It makes it an extra special bralette, and I'm really looking forward to wearing it. I think it might be a really good layering piece as well when it gets a bit colder, because this is super warm. I sized down on the needles and made my yarn thicker by holding the 2 strands of mohair, and so it's got a fair amount of density to it. It's actually a really good structure. It's providing a lot of support for my breasts. The ripple bralette I've made a couple of times before and I really love it, but I go for a slightly looser gauge and end up having to wear a bra or something underneath just to give me some support, but this one I think I'll be able to wear on its own. The other one that I mentioned last week are the Brighton shorts by It Is Julie at Work. Just to confirm, Julie at Work. Julie is a wonderful designer. This is from a set which is a vest and shorts set. It's so beautiful. I absolutely love it. I have not had as much time to work on this, but as soon as I finish the framework bralette, which will be maybe today or tomorrow, well, maybe not the straps, but I'll finish the cup today or tomorrow, I'm going to finish these babies off. I absolutely love the pattern. It's so gorgeous. I can't wait to have the shorts. The only thing is it's knit up, or the suggested yarn is cotton and cashmere, or cotton just generally, and I really don't like knitting with cotton. I find it really hurts my fingers, so I can't knit with it a lot, so I have to take lots of breaks, and I also find it hard to keep my tension. Well, I have a slightly looser tension when I'm knitting with cotton. I can't pull it as tightly as I do with wool. Yeah. But that's no reflection on the pattern. The pattern is amazing and beautiful, and you should totally get it when it comes out. But the cotton is just a little peeve of mine. I really don't use cotton very often at all. Even though it looks really beautiful, it just kind of winds me up. Actually, I need some more. So basically, I think we're there. I'm going to stop rambling at you. My coffee's actually a bit cold now. I was actually thinking, what do you think? Should I add some Sharpie hair to my lady? I was thinking, nobody's lady garden is that neat all the time. I think it needs some pen marks. But will it come off in the washing machine? I'm going to give it a go. What do I have? Okay. I don't have a Sharpie, but I have a pen, so we can give it a go. It may wash off, and then I'll have to find a Sharpie and do it again at the end. So I think my little lady just needs some little black hairs. Oh, look at her in all her beauty. I'm not sure that you could see that as well as I wanted you to. Maybe I'll post a little picture once my artwork is complete. Yes, and again, off on a tangent. Thank you so much for listening to me babble on for what felt like ages, but hopefully it wasn't too long because of my little camera incident in the middle. Yeah, thank you. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Let me know if there's any videos you want to see, want to hear me talk about different things, preferably knitting related. Yeah, anyway, have a wonderful day wherever you are, and I will speak to you soon. Bye!